Hata pia hapo awali kulikuwepo na jopo zingine ambazo zimeweza kuwekwa. Kwa mfano kulikuwa na jopo la kazi kuangazia kazi za hali ya maaskari, idara za usalama, idara za magereza na pia za wale vijana NYS, na pia walitoa maoni, walichukua maoni kutoka kwa wananchi na pia wakaweza kushawishi serikali waweze kutekeleza baadhi ya recommendations kadhaa. Hadi wa leo bado recommendations hizi hazijaweza kutekelezwa, na swala ambalo tunapaswa kuuliza ni tutakuwa na how many more either conferences, tuite handshake, ama tujumuishe watu wangapi waje waingie katika serikali ndio tuweze kutekeleza haya mapendekezo ambayo yametolewa. Na ni swala ambalo linaonyesha kwamba tuna changamoto la utekelezaji wa zile mapendekezo ambazo zimetolewa katika institutions mbalimbali, na haswa hata wakati tunapozungumza saa hizi kuna wale ambao waliathirika 2023 mwaka jana na pia mwaka huu, na bado wote wanadai haki, lakini utapata hizi changamoto bado zipo, haswa katika utendakazi, haswa katika uwajibikaji, haswa katika pia kuweka rasilimali kuhakikisha wale ambao wanafanya uchunguzi, upelelezi ambao watahakikisha maafisa mbalimbali wanajukumika pia wapewe nguvu ili waweze kutimiza kazi yao. Na hapa ndipo tunaangazia kwamba ikiwa serikali haitaweza kuzingatia haswa haki za jamii na za kiuchumi ambazo zina affect mwananchi kwa kila siku, ndiposa utaona Wakenya wengi watahisi ni kana kwamba aidha wamebaguliwa ama services ambazo wanahitaji hawapati kwa njia ambayo inafaa, na pia utapata wataweza kusema kwamba aidha hawana imani na uongozi fulani ama hawana imani na jinsi ambavyo aidha institutions mbalimbali zinatekeleza jukumu zao. So ndiposa wanakuja kutoa malalamishi, na ni haki yao na ni muhimu kwamba serikali iweze kuwasikiza na sio kuwanyamazisha kwa lazima, aidha kwa kutumia nguvu kiasi au kwa kutumia idara zetu za askari ili kuweza kusuppress watu ambao otherwise wangeweza kupata kuzungumza na serikali. Ndiposa ni muhimu wakati pia daktari anasema tujumuike sote pamoja, ni vyema tuweze kupata hiyo reflection, tujiulize from hapa tutaenda wapi, sasa kutokana na mchafuko huu, ikiwa yule mtu ambaye ataumia tena sasa atakuwa nambari nyingine ya kuongezea kwa wale waathiriwa wa mwaka jana na wa mwaka huu, ama tutajaribu kutafuta mbinu ambayo itaweza kuleta uwajibikaji haswa kwa raia na pia katika institutions kama zetu za serikali. Na ningependa kuguzia pia kuna institution ambayo iko na jukumu la kuangalia discipline za askari wetu, na hiyo ni the National Police Service Commission. Na mapendekezo ya jopo moja iliweza kusema tume hii ilikuwa imefeli katika roli yao, na hata walirecommend ya kwamba ikiwa wanaweza kushawishiwa waweze kujiondoa, basi wapewe nafasi, manake utovu wa aidha adhabu kwa askari na kukiuka kwa sheria, ufisadi na changamoto ambazo idara zetu za polisi wanapitia hadi wa leo hazijaweza kutatuliwa vyema kutokana na role ambayo hii tume hii inafanya kazi. Na ni muhimu pia tuzingatie na tuweze kufanya ile reflection na tujue ni issues gani hizi ambazo zinafanya askari wetu kutumia nguvu kupita kiasi, na wasije wakaalau wa Kenya waweze kujiexpress kwa njia ambayo inafaa.
Nafikiri pia katika kuchangia unakuta wakati mwingine tuna mfano maandamano kama haya kuna vile ambavyo tunajichanganya kwa sababu hii leo mimi najua ilikuwa ni ile
that we make police be that visible representation of government that will represent government in terms of the good things that the government does. So long as we continue to have police doing bad things, government will continue to do bad things.
And I'll bring you in at this point, Kawive, this politicization of policing, right? We had a statement by different diplomatic, what do I call them, diplomatic missions in the country yesterday. And we saw a statement from the head of Foreign Affairs Committee in Parliament immediately. We saw a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they took offense to the statement and said, you know, this is respect our sovereignty. You are not policing us. How is it? Oh, what do you make of that?
You know, and even you forgot where Mokome called people take advantage of protests as political scavengers. So it's all that noise about or in response to what external actors, missions and whatever say. But there are things that are universal. One, Kenya is not an island. We live in a community of nations. So any evil that is being done in Kenya or in one of the other nations will reflect on what we may call the world peace map or the world relations map. So diplomatic missions are here because they are accredited by the state. And they represent their nation and their people. So when they say that, for example, police should not kill or prevent people.
They also
they talked about goons as well. Prevent people from protesting. That is the voice of their government. They have a right to say so. And if the government has a problem with being told what the perspective of other countries are, you can close the mission. Tell them to go away. Because they come with their perspective. You cannot allow me to come to this studio and then you give me a script to read. I can as well stay at home and you read your script. So the point here is that freedom of expression, that they have a right to be here, and if the government feels that they do not want to hear external voices, and actually the voice of other nations around, because it is clear when police are closing the civic space, they are saying people do not protest. When the police are condoning goons, you know, have been mobilized, and we see very clearly they are working with the police, like the case was, like Angeshi was saying here. It is the surest path to going to civil strife. Why? Because these goons and their formations will become a power on their own. And then they will now contest for political space with both the police and political actors. If you remember, sometime in the 80s and 90s, there were gangs like that in Gisakasaga, I think in Kisi, Amachuma. We heard about the Baghdad boys and whatever. They became powers. They became points of power and focus, so that then they are used for political purposes, and then when they are not being used, they form their own political power bases. Mongiki is another example. They were used politically, and then they became powerful and formed their own. And the government had to invest a lot in terms of tearing down these gangs. So we should not entertain that kind of thing, because creating a space for another organ outside the police to enforce or to fight citizens in the civic space is totally Haiti. Our police went to Haiti to keep the peace. What is the problem with Haiti? Goons. People who have taken over policing. People have taken over the states and other functions of government. So that warning is spot on. We should not entertain other people. The reason why we have a police service is is because we need laws to be enforced, we need peace to be kept, we need a predictable way of following the law. And that is what we are urging the police to do, even ourselves, that, they have a constitutional responsibility. They should fulfill that responsibility by doing what is right.
Okay.
And what is right is not ambiguous.
All right.
You cannot shoot somebody in the head and say you are keeping peace. No. You cannot block us. When you look at these streets close like this, it reminds you of Nazi Germany, the swastika. It's where we had this kind of cordoning of roads. That wire, what is it called? The wire? Wire.
Yeah.
Electric.
Is a Hitler thing.
Okay.
Is that what we are saying here?
All right, let me bring in Wangeshi. What will it take to shock the system? And I ask that question because if you look at the Mukwana statement to IPOA regarding what happened to Albert Ojwang, that his life cost as little as 2,000 shillings for alcohol, if it is indeed proved to have been the case, it is shocking that something can happen in this day and age. You look at the picture, the video that circulated, of Boniface Kariuki shot in the head in just, again, circumstances that were totally unwarranted. What, in your view, will it take to shake the system?
As I answer your question, let us look at the joint statement from the ambassadors and heads of missions that made this call yesterday. What they said is, as we mark today, we call on all to facilitate peaceful demonstrations and to refrain from use of force and violence, use of plain-clothed officers and unmarked vehicles. And then they go on to say we are troubled by the use of hired guns that infiltrate, peaceful protests, and that they call for swift, transparent, and independent investigations. What is wrong with that? Honestly, what is wrong with that statement? It's simply reinforcing the same message all of us are saying, the same message Kenyans have been saying, and the biggest problem with our government, let me be very honest, is that they don't listen. The government does not listen. It doesn't seem to care what is being said. Because if the government was listening, we would not be having already 42 people who've died within the police, under the hands of police in 2025. Now, I know Wakili here said nothing worse could have happened, after, those years, and he gave an example of a situation. But can you imagine the loss of 67 people in 2023 during protests? 63 persons, they're actually not 60, they're 63. Yeah? We have the 60 and we will cross-check to see who are the 3 that are missing. But there are 63. 63 people in 2024. We are in June 2025. We've reported 42 deaths already, extrajudicial killings. To me, it is really out of this world. It is wrong. And when you ask what will it take to shock the system, I think we need to know that a time is coming where every duty bearer is going to answer on the question of accountability.
All right, sorry. Question of accountability. Answer, I'll pick it up with you. There are just those pictures. This looks like the Stanley in the Central Business District.
Now see.
And we are seeing tear gas on Kimathi Street. So those pictures coming to you live from the Central Business District. I don't know what instigated the tear gas, but we do have reporters across the country, as you've seen, and they will provide an update.
Yeah. So Olive, people, including the executive, parliament, all the constitutional agencies, and the National Police Service, we need to be responsible for our actions as an individual and as a command. If it is a police, whoever has a command control, and we are saying every individual police police officer should be held accountable for their individual actions. The command responsibility has to take accountability for the instructions they issue and for everything that goes wrong within that command. Yesterday we were reassured a lot of times, including by the spokesperson of the police, that they would de-escalate, that they will manage today, they will escort protesters, and we were expecting, a calm day. Now, when we start seeing tear gas at 10, it's not even 10, it's just a couple of minutes. And what we were seeing before, only we were watching the same screen. It was peaceful protesters, and I repeated, please watch the screens, because it's important that we see. They were not armed. I don't know what has led to the tear gas. We are not privy to that part of the screen. But for this system to be shot, they need to know that this is an uprising, that Kenyans are tired, and they're saying we need to change the way things are being done. Honestly, if there was accountability and the government had taken responsibility and said to Mama Kennedy, to the many Kenyans, Masharia's family, and said, we take responsibility, we are sorry it happened, here's compensation, here are the police officers we've taken to court, and they did some of the things right, the situation will not be what it is today. Why Kenyans are frustrated is because no one is taking accountability, and that is serious, and we need to start calling the shots as they are. Now, when it comes to the segregation of duty, and Samson has mentioned that.
Okay, so hold on that note, segregation of duty, so that also Wakili can come in. Wakili, what do you say to the statement that has been made by Wangeshi? She says the government is not listening.
Something important.
Yeah, if it is about the tear gas, I would...
Not about the tear gas. It's not about tear gas. It is not about tear gas. It's about what has been happening for the last years. It's about the killing of 67 people in 2023, 63 people in 2024, media 2025, we had 42 people. And that's not just it. There are lots of human rights violations, Yvonne. And what we are calling for is just an end to this, because the law provides for that.
I think just clarifying that
yes.
what the question was. What her statement was in regards to.
I wanted to say, the reason why I asked the tear gas is that I wanted to say that Mao Zedong once said, no research, no right to speak. So we do not know what has caused the tear gas. So I hope we will get the details and we can comment on it. With regard to whether the government is listening, I think the government needs to listen more and appreciate where critics are coming from and Kenyans, what Kenyans are saying. But I think it's also not being candid to, blanketly say that this government is listening. I mean, this problem, as I've said, I think is dishonest with us to try and limit this problem to 1 year. We have had this problem for many years that some of us have been making noise about it. The executive and the presidency has been quiet about this issue over the years, and that it is this government that where we first had a president that came out and accepted that yes, we have a problem, and yes, and even apologized in public. While that may not be now.
But this government did that when?
The president did issue an apology during the national prayer meeting the other day.
That was not an apology.
And my point is, while that is not enough, and we should demand more of the president, because our president, we need to recognize what has happened. If there is any positive move they have made, we need to recognize that and then push for more and more. We cannot come out and say that they have not done anything. Okay? For instance, this is the first president that, came out and gave financial
paper. We name them, we shame them, and we let Kenyans know how it's going to be. We continue to bring you the coverage of today's expected demonstrations marking 1 year since the 25th of June 2024 that saw Kenyans lose 60 Kenyans during the protest, but even at that, that's just what is the situation in the country. We cross over to the CBD and continue to follow up on the status, how it is, security that has been put in place by different security agencies. We go straight to around Parliament buildings that has seen the area barricaded with barbed wire in order to secure the area that is considered to be protected area, where the security officers say that they would not let anyone access secured areas in the country. Those are live images on your television. You could see on your right that those are security officers around Parliament building who are securing the area with barbed wire in place. As you can see as well, that is just the water cannon that is doing its rounds there. A water cannon that is really, really important when it comes to dispersing crowds, and that was heavily used during the 2024 Gen Z demonstrations in the country. As well, as you can see, there were live images of Kenyans in the city, that is around the Moi Avenue area, close to archives. As Kenyans are seemingly going around their business as usual, but not as usually is, because at this time the town is usually busy. Kenyans going about their businesses, but majority of Nairobi residents have stayed away from the CBD due to the ongoing demos, because the previous demonstrations that we've witnessed have not been peaceful. Perhaps the reason why Kenyans have decided to stay away. You can see ambulances as well in the CBD as well. The Kenyans just chilling and going about their businesses. But on the left, those are police officers close to Parliament Road, offering security in the protected area. Again, that you can see is the water cannon doing its rounds, just making sure that everybody is assured of their security. Security officers in Nairobi had promised to provide security to every Kenyan, every would-be demonstrator that will be coming out to share their views and to demand that they be heard, that police brutality ends, and that areas that are considered to be protected, that will be around Parliament building, close to Parliament building. We have Office of the President, Arambe Annex. We also have Vigilance House, Jogo House. These are protected areas that are being protected heavily by the security agencies this morning in this CBD, Nairobi CBD, and other areas pretty much across the country. The order was given and promise given that security will be provided. But as you can see on the right side of the screen, that is around Moi Avenue, and crowds seem to be gathering by the moment. We are not sure exactly if these are protesters, but you can see that hawkers are there selling the flags, because Kenyans today are saying that they are patriotic to the nation. They want constitutionalism to be respected, the rule of law to be respected. As you can see, those are young people who are gathered there chanting, perhaps signs that the demonstrations are ready to start. But as that starts, we are here to bring you blow by blow. You can see that is the Tom Mboya monument there. It has become also a place where many Kenyans usually are gathered to just celebrate, to organize themselves, and seemingly it is again the epicenter where today's demonstrations might be starting from. Here are the demonstrators bringing us up to speed as we talk about the Gen Z revolt. 1 year later, 60 lives lost. Those are Gen Z's, Kenyans pretty much coming together, sharing and planning themselves and chanting, sending their chants with regard to the ongoing demos. You could see the banner is there as well that talks about justice for our Mashujaa. That is our Mashujaa 1 year later, with their demands well indicated there, with their demands that they be heard, that police brutality ends, that cost of living goes down, that justice is given to Kenyans. It is a situation that is taking place the whole day today, and we are here to bring you blow by blow, moment by moment, as the day goes by, as the protests seemingly are about to start. That again is outside the Kenya National Archives, that is along Moi Avenue. This is also a place that has seen a lot happen. We remember last week as goons as well took over the city and took over the place, and beat up Kenyans who are there. Our reporter Grace Nganga is there. Grace, good morning. If you could just bring us up to speed on what exactly is happening, if at all this is the beginning of the protest, Grace.
One down! One down! One down! One down! One down! One down! One down!
The live images of protesters outside at the Tomboya Monument along Moi Avenue as they continue to chant. One of the chants that has taken over the streets and these demos is the one-time chants that we continue to hear with the demonstrators there. Kenyans coming together again, pushing for their agenda, that they be heard, they be listened to. You can see them draped in the Kenyan flag, showing patriotism there as they seemingly just planned themselves. You could see a man there draped in suit and a white would be a white scarf, an indicator of peace, but they are there to plan themselves as they start. Our reporter Grace Nganga is there, will be joining us in a few, but this seemingly is the start of the demonstrations that have been planned 1 year later as Kenyans come together to push for justice pretty much and constitutionalism to be respected. You remember that as we go back to 2024, we counted 60. That one recorded of the Kenyans who lost their lives, with many more who have disappeared 1 year later, and they cannot be accounted for. We talk about even the picketing that have continued throughout. We see that Kenyans have been shot by the police. We have one case of one Boniface Kariuki who is fighting for his life at the Kenyatta National Hospital. We have the case of Albert Ojwang as well. We have another case of an individual who was shot in Mwiki last week. We have 2 bodies that were there, and new cases of Kenyans who've just lost their lives, with IPOA giving a report that 20 Kenyans have lost their lives in the hands of police officers in police custody. A sad state of affair that we continue to record in the country. And as you can see, those are live pictures coming to you live from Moi Avenue outside National Archives as chants continue to ring and rent the air. Kenyans there chanting and planning themselves. You can see they are draped with flags. So far, we can confirm that there is no crude weapon that we have seen. These are Kenyans with their flags, with their bodies, with the water, with their hearts, just them giving their chants, demanding for justice, and pretty much just seeking audience so that they are heard. If we could just listen to chants that are happening outside with this crowd. images coming to you straight from Nairobi and Mombasa as well. You can see Mombasa, nothing much happening, just vehicles plying the area that's usually called Pembea Ndovu there in Mombasa. We continue to bring you the coverage of the ongoing situation, not only in Nairobi, but across the country. Our reporters are stationed. We shall be touching base with them a little bit later. But let's talk about the anniversary itself. June 25th. Guns renting the air, but this is peaceful as demonstrators just walk and demonstrate as well. Nairobi as well has the same feel and vibe, and those are live images that you can see from Nairobi CBD. You can see young people engaging with police officers, shaking hands, and it is, you'd want to say it is rare occurrence that we get to see, but this ought to be how it should be, because police officers are Kenyans, they are part of us, should be engaging with protesters as they provide security, as they work together, as they work together in ensuring that the demos are peaceful. You can see police officers just mingling with the Kenyans there, and it is such images that when we see as a Kenya, as countrymen, we applaud. We look at that police officer just smiling, you know, pose for a picture, man. Let's take a selfie. These are images that then sends forth the Kenyanness, the patriotism that there is. But remember, these are demonstrators, a clear departure from how the situation has been previously. This is close to Central Police Station. This is that bridge that goes all the way to Central Police Station towards University of Nairobi. And these are images that we see, including an individual there, Kenya's bold newspaper, right there, communicating with the public. Doesn't get any better than that. Aluta continua, fallen heroes. We continue to name them. You see the image of Rex Masai there, and it is communication, keeping true to our cause, ensuring that the republic that Kenyans get to know. Not easy, not a situation that we would have wanted to be in, but then again, Kenya's bold newspaper will always be there to enlighten you and to bring you up to speed. But then again, you can see those are just protesters walking around, police officers with them, as well as just ensuring that there is peace. Nothing has happened, no tear gas has been lobbed. The Kenyan flag dominating majority of these protests. You can see that is one individual who has decided, hata kama ni kuchoka, nitachoka lakini flag lazima ipepe. You can see police officers walking with them as well. You can see as well Kalonzo Musyoka there walking with flowers with the wreath there, saying that he wants to head to Parliament and lay that wreath of flower in commemoration of Kenyans who were shot and died outside Parliament in last year's Gen Z protest, that is 2024, during the Reject Finance Bill 2024 protest that saw Kenyans overrun Parliament. Many were killed outside Parliament. We also have others who were shot and killed as they were walking outside Parliament. And these are the opposition leaders with flowers draped in the Kenyan flag as they leave the Holy Family Basilica heading towards Parliament. Let's just see how that will proceed, because we know that Parliament, as we speak right now, has been totally cordoned off. We've seen extra security measures put in place. We talk about the razor barbed wire that has been erected along Parliament Road by security officers. All these, as had been said earlier, that protected areas would be totally secured and cordoned off with regard to ensuring that these areas, these spaces are protected. But nonetheless, let's just see how this will go. Police officers, this is a police lorry there with police officers ahead. Morning. Let's just see how this will go. Will they engage? Will they have a conversation? Will they be allowed to go through? It is the moment of reckoning as Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, Enoch Wambua, and other leaders walk towards the police officers. We can see them talking. We can see them pushing forward. We can see them walking past the police officers. We can see them walking hand in hand with their flowers. We can see them actually headed towards the barricaded area to lay their wreath. You can see the water cannon. This is the water cannon that is blocking the camera, and this is what has been used to disperse the demonstrators, and this is where now with the opposition leaders will be at to lay their wreath. We see now police officers are now forming that wall between them and the barbed wire, perhaps having a conversation with police officers on the next course of action, because as you've said, security has been heightened. That barbed wire that has been erected there is to deter any would-be protesters from accessing Parliament, which is regarded as a protected area. Kalonzo Musyoka and opposition leaders and other Kenyans as well, just with flowers draped in Kenyan flag, walking towards Parliament. Kalonzo saying that would be so that they lay the wreath of flowers outside Parliament in commemoration of Kenyans who were shot and killed in 2024 during the Reject Finance Bill 2024 protest that saw Kenyans overrun Parliament during that time. You can see that is the razor barbed wire fence pretty much that has been outside Parliament in commemoration of Kenyans who were shot and killed in 2024 during the Reject Finance Bill 2024 protest that saw Kenyans overrun Parliament during that time. You can see that is the razor barbed wire fence pretty much that has been outside Parliament in commemoration of Kenyans who were shot and killed in 2024 during the Reject Finance Bill 2024 protest that saw Kenyans overrun Parliament during that time. You can see that is the razor barbed wire fence pretty much that has been outside Parliament in commemoration of Kenyans who were shot and killed in 2024 during the Reject Finance Bill 2024 protest that saw Kenyans overrun Parliament during that time. You can see that is the razor barbed wire fence pretty much that has been
Jamaa hata iko mama. Mimi nimeita wa jamaa hapo. Polisi mama kipigwa. Hapo sasa ananipiga. Wewe kwenda huko na njia nani hiyo. kijana bana. I was scared of a bullet.
Yes. Aston.